Hey, it's Bob with Bob's Bee Company, and today on this 75-degree day in April 10th, we are going to graft some queens because we want to make some nukes for customers and have our own queens for our use and to sell some queens to people that may need them. We're choosing from our most gentle honey production and might varroa sensitive colonies, which is this one. And to prep for that, we went through a couple of colonies and got all the nurse bees that we could. These two strong colonies actually needed knocked down a little bit. We took some cat food and some resources like beet red, pollen, honey, and have 4 frames in there. So we will graft onto a frame that'll make it a 5 frame. And as you can see, that box is going to be full of bees because we're bearding on this, not a hot day, but not a cold day. So I'm going to go into this box. Okay, so this is one that's just got good genetics all the way around. I don't know if it's Italian anymore, Carniolan or what, but it's definitely suited for our area and surviving each winter. So give them some smoke and go in and look for a frame of 1-day-old larvae. This top box shouldn't be real full because we just put it on and they're probably still working on drawing it out. See all these crisp new frames that are not been stained yet by the bees walking on them. We're starting to draw out that pretty white comb. So to expedite, I'm just going to pull this whole top box off and go down into the brood chamber where I know we've got bees and larvae. These other frames are brand new, so they're probably not really drawn out yet. Sometimes they'll draw a wonky comb. When that happens, we'll just knock it back down and they'll fix it. This one's a little wonky too, but at least it's majority of it's drawn out, so I'm not going to mess with it right now. I'll fix that up. The queen's been busy. All those little dots are where a queen or a nurse bee has just emerged. They're sticking nectar in some of it. The queen may come back around and lay in those empty spots. I'll have to hold this up in the sun to see if there's nothing other than what's hatched. side is mostly pollen and brood that still needs to be hatched. In the center you can see kind of lighter fluffy bees. Those are newly emerged bees, or nurse bees. After they hatch, they go right to work with either tending to the queen or cleaning cells and feeding other babies. Another frame that has a lot of nurse bees in the center there. There's a bee with some pollen on her legs, looking for a place to deposit it. Another bee with light yellow pollen in the middle. Lots of little fuzzy nurse bees. Lots of brood that still needs to merge on this one. So eventually here we'll work till we find some freshly laid eggs, and spiraling out from those eggs should be day-old larvae that we can graft from. I'm just going to pull this up to the light right away so I can see. Definitely some larvae there. Bunch on this side. Next, some of these may be a little too old. I'm going to put this frame back and look at the next one just to check. This frame is probably going to graft him. I'm also wanting to see the queen before I shake him off. She might have been in that upper box, so we didn't really look too hard through it. So I found the frame I want to graft from. Don't really want to shake the bees off because I don't want to upset any of those larvae or damage them. So I'm just going to brush the bees off. And they'll fly right back home. This is of a new frame. They're just drawing this out. You can see they're starting to put the nectar up here, which will drive in the honey. They're putting a little bit of pollen, which is these yellow spots. And as you looked at the capped brood out, you'll see eggs, which looks like a little rice grain, and then going out from that you'll see a little tiny larvae, and as it gets closer to the capped you'll see where they are bigger and bigger. Those peanut looking cells at the bottom are probably, hopefully I'll have to look in them, practice cells for drawing swarm cells. So now I'm back and I'm going to begin my grafting. I gotta put my glasses on because I'm getting old. These are all too big. So I'm just gonna go down in with my grafting tool. Kind of flip that one. The idea is to get under them, set them right in the center, and push them off. Yeah, that one didn't go very well. This wasp is not helping much. There's a nice little in that first one you'll see how excuse me. Sometimes you just have to find the right grafting tool for the... Earlier I was using one of those plastic ones that was working well. These are just... There, I was able to pick that one up easy. Here's our last larvae on this graft of 20 at the end of my and we'll set her down in, and she rests right there in the center. So now that we have our grafts grafted, you can see we have a box of bees. Give them a little smoke. When we shook all these bees in, all the foragers probably went back to their home colony, so we know that what stayed behind is definitely the nurse bee. Even though some of these look older than nurse bees. So I have a frame of pollen and honey. This has emerging brood on it, and I think this one does as well. So we're going to stick our graft right down in the center. And I'm also experimenting. These caps are previously been used. I boiled them. So this whole line, we'll see if it really makes a difference or not in whether the grafts take. And then the one that's going to go on the top bar is all new.
Down one.
Thank you. Oh yeah. The one that goes on the top bar are all brand new. These little flimsy frames are cool, but kind of a pain in the butt sometimes too. We try to do our grafts on Thursdays, because in 10 days they'll be needed to be moved into mating nukes, and then that way 10 days from now will be next Sunday. But we can come back in, really in 24 hours we could see, but maybe give them an extra day and wait till Saturday and see what's emerged, if we've had any takes. And that's about it. So we'll be back when we check on them and see how many queens we're going to end up with. Thanks for watching.